Hello, everybody, and welcome to Teushenthal in Germany for the 67th edition of the FIM Monster Energy Motocross of Nations. We've got our live studio show once again at the Monster Energy rig, and boy, we've got some guests for you lined up today. Jeff Emig, a former three-time winner of this Motocross of Nations event, but we're going to kick off with Justin Barsha, and he's pointing the finger at me now because he knows that's two more than I got.
Yeah, well.
But Jeff,
94 was a sore subject. The man was the fastest 125 rider on the planet. So
well,
first, I went second.
Maybe we can talk about that in a little while. But I know Justin Barsha, who's obviously riding for Team USA. He's literally just got in here now after being at the riders' briefing. Justin, welcome.
Thank you.
Good to have you on the live show. How's this Nations been for you so far?
So far, so good. You know, got out there and practiced today. It's weird having a 40-minute practice compared to the U.S. where you get like 15 minutes. So that was nice. Got to ride two different of my bikes, so that was cool. Got some good track time. The track's a little different than the U.S. You know, you got to kind of figure out those lines and stuff. It was a little not where I wanted to be exactly, but I felt good. And you know, I haven't rode in like 5 days, so it was like kind of weird.
Just travel time.
Yeah.
Now, there's so much atmosphere here, right? The crowd, I mean,
crazy.
I mean, there were thousands of fans here on Friday.
Yeah, we came here Friday and checked things out, and it's gnarly.
Yeah, and after not riding for that amount of days and the travel and everything else that's involved, the pageantry, the amount of interviews and all of that, it had to feel good to say, okay, I can block that out, put my helmet on, put my goggles on, not talk to anyone, and just go get up, you know, out on your motorcycle.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you know, I was so amped up, ready to ride, and my mechanic tells me, oh, 5 more minutes. We're like sitting up there. I'm like, man, can I wait 5 more minutes? I'm going to go nuts.
Well, yeah, it was third practice, so you're watching.
Yeah, just watching
go
and
out,
waiting.
You watch Eli, yeah.
It's been driving me crazy.
And how was that? Because I don't know the schedules in the U.S. when you ride there, and if you get first track time or if you're on second, third, or fourth, but all the guys that have been on the track before you are top riders, they're fast riders, they're carving deep lines, deep ruts already because the amount of water they put on the track. You're going out third time, there's already big, gnarly braking bumps and deep ruts. How did you deal with that?
You know, I dealt with it pretty good. I felt like anyway, my bike worked good out there, and it did definitely get a little rough and choppy, and, you know, I definitely was a little tight, I'm not going to lie. You know, I haven't rode in a couple of days. It felt kind of weird, but, you know, it was good to get out there, though. I enjoyed it. Track's good, and ready to get down to some racing.
Just looking at the times here, just real quick. Fifth fastest, 1.7 off. But we know, Jeff, from the nature of this, even from, you know, the days when we rode it, practice doesn't mean anything, does it?
Yeah, it doesn't, and it's a difficult situation because you have one chance to go out. Now, you know, it's a long practice, so essentially, you know, you split it up into two different practices. You rode 2 different bikes. What was the purpose for that?
Well, riding the 2 different bikes, you know, you got your backup bike. Actually, the bike I'll race tomorrow. You got a number 1 bike and a number 2 bike, and they're exactly the same. Feel a little different in some ways, but hardly at all. And yeah, so besides that, not much.
Okay, so you were part of the team last year in Belgium that didn't win.
Yeah, it's a tough loss.
I've been there before. So now that you're back on the team again this year, Ryan Dungey is your teammate.
Yep.
You've got a rookie, Eli Tomac, who's hot right now, as hot as he gets, on the team. What's those conversations like between Dungey and yourself, and now coming back again, joining together? I mean, is there that sense of, hey, we really got to get this back?
Well, yeah, of course. You know, we had to win last year and we didn't, so it's kind of a tough situation. But you know, even Roger's the best team manager you could have for this thing because he's just like, you guys know what to do. You got to go out there and race. It doesn't matter, you know, win or lose or whatever. Just go out there and do your best and race. You know, they picked us because, you know, we're the best in the U.S. and we got to bring it. But definitely, you know, we've all talked, all the teammates, and we want to go out there and win. That's what we're here for.
What kind of conversations have you had since practice? Obviously, Ryan would have gone out first, and then Eli. How's he dealing with it all? Because you know what it's like last year, first time rookie on the team. Is he kind of going, you know?
I think he's handling it good. You know, the dude went out there and ripped it up. There's like, he's killing it. So, you know, there's not really a ton of talk yet. Like I seen those guys at the riders meeting real quick, and I had to just shuffle over here real quick. But, you know, all in all, we know we need to go out there, get good starts, keep it on 2 wheels, be consistent, and try to win some motos.
Now, is there a...
I was thinking the ballot, just real quick. You know, obviously you've had the riders meeting.
Yeah.
You're going to be 18th to the gate.
So
that's
actually,
not
a terrible gate. We were just checking them out, and we can make it happen from there.
Yeah. But certainly 40th, the ladder picks, the outside I've heard some
yeah,
riders
because
talk
the gates
the
are like
gates. Yeah,
like
the angle
that,
of the gate is
it's definitely different than the U.S. and they do that because pole position. You know, you want to get that inside gate, and the inside's definitely better, but 18's not half bad.
Yeah, looking down at the favourites, Great Britain on the outside, gate 40, so they're going to be turning right before they even get out the gate. You know, that's tough for them. But
you guys have some good starters on Great Britain?
Normally Tommy's good, Jake's good, but even still, you're going to have to angle the bike, you know, just to get out and get across, or maybe just cut across the back of everybody.
Well, speaking of the teams, in your you know, your estimation, what you've spoke with Roger and the other riders, do you have a feeling of, hey, these teams should be the strong teams that we're going to battle? I mean, it always looks one way on paper, but
yeah, you know, at least for me, I don't judge it like that. Like, you know, the teams that we think could be, you know, really good may not be good, and other teams may be better. So I don't really judge it like that. I just go out there and, you know, it's really weird. It's so much different from racing in the U.S. because I don't even know, like, I don't know the guys personally, and I don't really know who they are. And, you know, I know their last names, but that's about it. So it's kind of strange.
Do you think they know of the nature of Bam Bam when he gets angry? And how
I
goes
think
down?
I showed it in Bercy a couple of years back, and that's kind of stupid.
Oh, yeah,
but,
I was there.
That was kind of stupid, but all in all, you know.
They've decided to let you back into France, though, this
They're going to let me back this year, so that's pretty exciting.
He took a year out.
Yeah.
I was there, and that was kind of, a bad atmosphere.
Yeah, definitely.
It depends. You know, if you want theatre, it was a great atmosphere and everything else, but unfortunately you were the guy on the end of it. About the nations itself, Justin, I know back in Jeff's day, you guys wanted to be here. Then you built up a big streak going, 12, 13 years, and suddenly it was, one day this team's going to lose and you don't want to be on the team. But how is the nations perceived at home in the US now? And do you want to be on the team, or do you feel that you have to be on the team because of the stature of Team USA in the history of the event? Where do you sit with it?
It's definitely a more stressful thing than just racing in the U.S. Like, this is a big deal, but for me, when Roger calls you on the phone and says, hey, we want you on the team, you're not going to say, nah, I don't want to be on the team. You're going to go over there. And obviously, he's watched you all year throughout motocross, and he sees you have the potential to go over there and, do good. So, all in all, though, I think, we obviously lost last year, and it is what it is. And, no one, tried to kill us when we got home, so that was nice. Yeah. But definitely,
well, you guys didn't get home for a couple days.
Yeah,
good thing it wasn't Sunday night.
Yeah, right? Someone would have been there. But, no, all in all, it's really cool to race for the U.S., and, definitely you don't turn down that opportunity.
How do you know where you're going to start from yet? Gate position? Because obviously 18 would normally be somewhere in the middle, but,
Middle's looking pretty good. We did just check them out, and I think somewhere in the middle will be pretty good. Just get a nice kind of arc going through the first turn and hopefully get a good start.
So this being your second year now, what experience of the style of the race, right? You're not just riding for yourself, you're part of a team.
Yeah.
So what has that 1 year of experience taught you?
I don't know if it's really taught me much, because I feel a little more I'm more jumpy this year than I was last year. I felt like last year I was extremely calm, and this year I'm just ready to go out there and get crazy. I don't know. It's weird. But I think all in all, the whole being on the team thing with Ryan and Eli, the U.S. is really good in some way of forgetting everything that happened during the motocross season and coming here and just, bonding kind of. It's pretty crazy, but
it's definitely different when you race against a guy, right? And I'm sure you did the same thing.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you guys are teammates, and you're
all of us as racers.
Not always easy to do.
Me, Eli, me, and Ryan, we've all had problems racing in the U.S. and we come here and we put it behind us and we go out there and
then you land and go, right, I won't be seeing you until Anaheim.
Yeah, seriously.
What about in terms of, you don't come to Europe that often, once a year for the nations, maybe a couple of Supercross in the winter season.
Yeah.
What kind of person are you, just, for the European fans? Obviously, you see these Americans all the time. Are you...
I like the Europeans.
No, but what I mean is, in terms of, your temperament, are you kind of quite a fiery kind of character, or are you pretty placid, laid back?
He likes to get away from it all and go fishing.
A bit like Kurt Nichol, Mikael Pichon?
I do like to kind of chill out a little. I've been flying a lot in my off-season, trying to...
Become a private pilot.
Yeah.
A bit like Bradshaw.
Yeah, I said off-season. There's no off-season, really. But
how'd you get the time in to do the flight hours?
I try to go flying when I can at night a little bit and fit it in, but it doesn't work out that easy. I don't have my pilot's license still, and I've been doing it for a year and a half. So.
All right. Well, look, Justin, thanks for stopping by, and of course we wish you all the best this weekend. Get through the qualifying and see what happens tomorrow.
Definitely. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot.
All right.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, you can release the headset. We will welcome in our next guest whenever he's ready. But Jeff, it's a tough schedule for these American guys, isn't it? You know, they arrived on Wednesday or Friday if you're, you know, Ryan Dungey, because obviously he got delayed on the plane and all that kind of thing. But, you know, to come here, the jet lag, you know yourself, you've been here a few days more than them. You were feeling it probably, what, Monday, Tuesday? I think we're... here we go.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you have to acclimate properly. And the thing is, you know, our riders, in the U.S., they have quite a bit different schedule than the riders that ride the GP. You know, you do 17 Supercross events, you do 12 motocross events, so they've already raced 29 races. They do have a little bit of a break now. They've made a longer break between the final motocross event in the U.S. and this, so they get a little more time to say, okay, relax from that. U.S. team focuses on this event. So I think that extra couple weeks is really going to allow them, you know, their spirit, their energy levels and everything to kind of be lifted for this event.
All right. Well, Dean Ferris, Team Australia, normally riding a Monster Energy Yamaha and MX2 World Championship, joins us now. Thanks for joining us. I know you've got a pretty busy schedule as well, just done Monster Energy signings and that kind of thing. Noticed you didn't go back to the camper, there's no point, was there? It's pretty crazy out there.
Yeah, exactly. I just went back to the camper and took my clothes off, grabbed a quick sandwich, and I've just been running around all day, so it's a pretty heavy schedule. Even yesterday was like this as well, but this is Motocross of Nations, and you know, I want to be on the team all the time, so I just got to get used to it.
What about...
How about this guy in practice? I mean, seriously.
Straight out the blocks.
Really, really impressive.
First couple of laps, banged it in, and then another one at the end of the session.
Yeah, you know,
feeling good out there.
Yeah, Tomac kept chasing me, and I kept putting in a better lap, and actually I'm pumped about doing it because in the Grand Prix I've been a bit slow in time qualifying, and normally the racing is my strong point. And yeah, this morning I felt really comfortable. Actually, talking about that 3-week break gave me a bit more time to relax in the first week, and I've done some more testing. As you know, Paul, it took me a long time to get set up this year, and then once I did, I won a Grand Prix. So,
but some of that was down to injury as well, though.
Yeah,
the collarbone.
Yeah, injury, but I don't think that knocked me around too much. You know, it was more the injury stopped me from testing. You know, because I stayed in Australia the whole pre-season and everything like that. So yeah, it gave me a little bit more time to do some testing this week, and yeah, I think it showed. That's the most comfortable I've ever felt in practice.
Yeah, and he banged out 18 laps in practice, right? Roczen only went out for 12 laps.
He came out with 25 minutes on the clock, Roczen.
Yeah, so that was really interesting. And I mean, as riders, we all know when you're just in the groove, you're just feeling it. You just want to keep riding. You know, I was watching you around the track. You just looked like you had that flow. So right away, it looks like you've really, suit this track well.
Yeah, exactly. And I wasn't scared about doing too many laps in that session because actually in the Grand Prix we have one more practice session, which is more riding. So I was like, you know, hell, I'll just get some good practice in and just keep going, and that's what I did.
Yeah, and you still have the qualifying race anyway. Last time you came here and rode, I think it was like 2010 in an MX1.
Yeah, it was my very first Grand Prix in MX1.
Yeah, and you were what, only like 17 then or something?
Yeah, I was 19.
Okay,
yeah.
I know you were young, I know that, but riding the Martin Hondas. But how's the track changed? Obviously, I don't know how they prepared it compared to then. Was it heavier, deeper this morning? And obviously the start's going to be different as well.
Yeah, the track's completely different. There's only a few sections that are still in the track. But by memory, it was deeper than this on Sunday at the Grand Prix 3 years ago. But there's still some good ruts and stuff, and the soil doesn't change. So, and I was excited to come here because I know it gets nice ruts and all that. So, yeah, no, the track's all right.
Looked like you got a solid team behind you with Todd and Brett. But I know, we were talking about it with Justin Bosch a minute ago, Jeff and I, how you arrive, you've got your rivalries between other guys and you put that behind you. I know we spoke yesterday, and you've had a kind of a rivalry with Todd in the past, growing up with him. Obviously you've been here now the last couple of years on and off, but how is that working with him in the same kind of environment? You know, are you just struggling it aside, or you know?
Actually, no, we get along quite good now. There was maybe 1 or 2 years where it was, we were banging bars pretty heavy and we didn't talk to each other, but we both got over it at the same time, and we haven't been racing each other now for a couple of years, but we keep an eye on each other and everything. I'm actually smiling about it because we were the two juniors coming through from like 14, 15 years, and now we're both on the Motocross of Nations team. So for me, and I'm sure for him, it's really cool that both of us elevated each other, and we raced each other our whole career, and he's the reason why I wanted to get better because I didn't like him beating me, and vice versa. So you know, where
like
every race we're just wide open.
Yeah, so possible podium here. Who knows, a win. Going to be exchanging Christmas cards by the end of the season. This is a whole new foundation for you guys' relationship.
Yeah, no, it's cool for this race, but we're going to race each other next year.
I was going to say, that's going to be renewed, that rivalry back in big bikes as well in MXGP. You know, the newly appointed MXGP class, obviously MXoN ditch now. Sean Simpson winning the last ever MXoN Grand Prix a couple of weeks ago in Lirop. Just talking about the World Championship, actually, Dean. 6 in the overall series. I know you came away with 3 race wins, an overall victory. Could have been 2 with Matterley had you not gone out and, you know, spun out and damaged the gas tank. But on paper, should you have done better, or just from the results that you got, do you think you should have been better, top 3 at least? Yeah,
I think so. Even at the beginning of the year, I was shooting for a podium. I believed the whole time I could do it, and the first half of the season was a disaster. I had a broken collarbone, and I did get 2 podiums, but it still wasn't going the way I wanted it to until I chased some better bike setup, and then I come leaps and bounds, and it all come to me quite easily after that. But I was in a pretty big hole at the time, with the points, and actually got within 1 point of 4th at the British Grand Prix before the second moto, and then that DNF, that cost me 4th in the championship actually. But anyway, it's my first full season, and I'm still proud to get 6th in the World Championship, and I'm going to MXGP next year, and I'll be still shooting for top 5s.
And then you notch that first win, and how did that change, the confidence for you and that feeling of belonging? Like, okay, now I've done this.
Yep. Yeah, it did change everything, because as Paul knows, I hadn't won anything before that. I left Australia before I won an Australian Championship. I never even won a state title. I got out of there as soon as I could and went, you know what, I'm just going for it. I'm still young, and I'll get faster if I just come over here, and that's what I did. And then when I won that first race, I won the second race, and then I went to England. I won 3 in a row, and actually today that's the first time I got a pole.
I vaguely remember another Australian kind of doing that at a young age. I can't remember his name.
Not Jeff Lees, the other
really
one.
Successful.
The other one. He's still riding, I think.
Well, we don't know right
Chad
now.
Reed,
But yeah, Chad Reed certainly, started his career in Australia. He had won the championships, made his way here, to Europe to ride the GPs. So you're following.
I'm following what Chad done. He come here. I think he was only 18 years younger than me, and I knew I had to get here fast, and that was the first opportunity I got was 2011. I was 20, so I took it and I ran.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of age, so Brett Metcalf, your teammate, he's definitely one of the elders, but he has to be, an impressive leader for the team. His consistent results, went to Canada, won the championship this year. What's that been like to work with him?
Yeah, he's just a really good guy. Got lots of experience, and the best team leader you could ask for. Really, he's just awesome. I worked with him in 2010, and he pretty much took me under my wing, and because I was new to the whole thing, and he told me the ins and outs, and because we're in USA, and good guy.
Okay, well, Dean Ferris, thanks for joining us down here. It's only a 30-minute show this weekend, so we've got our next guest waiting, Ken Roxon.
And good luck in that qualifier. Keep
absolutely.
It up. Looking great.
Because that's the important thing now, isn't it? The gate for the qualifying race was by ballot, but you need to get 2 solid rides now to determine your grid position, how you go to line for tomorrow's main races.
Yeah, so, exactly. I'll be putting it down, and I expect myself for a good result, and I'm going for a win, so that'll help Australia for tomorrow's gate pick.
Love
as well.
To hear that.
Going
for a win. That's what you're here for, right?
Exactly.
Right. Absolutely. At least a podium. All right, Dean, thanks a lot, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
What about that, Jeff? Confidence.
Yeah.
But, I think just in the meantime, while we're putting these on, but we've got Jeff, a guy I think you're familiar with, having had him with you the last couple of years out in the AMA, Ken Roxon, no stranger to this circuit, living, about 50, 60K away from here or something like that over in Apolda. Welcome back home. What's it like to be back home, first of all, and how crazy is it?
No, it's great. I mean, being in front of this home crowd and riding with number 1, 2, and 3 is great. I'm only living an hour away from here, so a lot of people around where I live here. So, no, it's great. I mean, the track is better than it was at the GP. So I really think they did a good job, and I think I'm definitely ready for some good racing.
I noticed you didn't go out in practice straight away. Was that just letting the track dry out a little bit? I think it was like maybe 25 minutes left on the clock or something.
Well, since I'm coming from the AMA, you know, we only have 15-minute practice there, so I just took it easy. I mean, I know the track a little bit, and I rode for the GoPro thing in the morning, so I just, you know, we have 40-minute practice, so 30 minutes is totally enough. I came out a little later, and you know, been riding around. My lap time was not up there, but actually not to worry about it because I like to race, and actually can't wait for later on.
What's it like coming back here? Now, last year, Germany won the Motocross of Nations for the first time ever. Unbelievable. And then now to have the host race be basically at your hometown track. I mean, there's German flags, the air horns. There was that one section where you'd go by the track. Every lap of practice, they'd go by like it was in the race.
I know. It's great. I mean, first off, I don't think there could have been a better time to win the MXoN Nations, which we did last year. Coming here with perfect numbers, and it would be great to do it again. I know it's going to be hard, but I think if we find ourselves on the podium, it's going to be great. But I think the fans, you know, they're definitely going to push us as hard as they can, and we're just hoping to do the best out of it and make it exciting for the fans.
We're just looking at the image from last year from Lommel, just a quick clip. Focus there already. What was it like actually being in Lommel? Because I know from watching you in GPs, you turned your weakness, which was riding in the sand. You know, from when you were on Suzuki, they were based in Lommel. You know, the Tekka guys were based there. So how often did you ride there? And are you glad, I guess, for that experience? Because otherwise you wouldn't have raced so much around that track to get the kind of knowledge that you had to maybe turn in the performance that you did last year. Is that right?
Yeah, well, Lommel last year, I personally, a lot of people hate it, or more people hate it than they like it.
I think you, Tony, and Jeff were the exceptions.
I know. No, I usually love it, and I've been putting in a lot of time in my Suzuki times there to you know, get myself fit and good for the stand. So racing there last year was amazing. The sand was perfect. I mean, I think it would have been cool to get L'Europe in the MXoN Nations, you know, because it's another deep sand. I actually prefer L'Europe than Lommel, but no, it was great overall. Loved it.
And what about here? Go on, Jeff.
Any pressure being here this year? Has there been the media obligations, the amount of fans? Has it? Have you been shielded from that, or are you kind of feeling that sort of expectation that there's any pressure on you?
Honestly, not. I mean, I know I can do good, but we have Team Germany. We have it took us a while to be where we are right now. We're not, I would say, as solid as Team USA is, because every year they're there and they're up there, you know. So we build ourselves out, coming to Colorado, and then Dusan Angeli, and then last year Lommel. Like, we just build ourselves out. So I don't think anyone should expect us to win. It's more of like a hope thing. We're not our A team right now, but I think Dennis is going to do great. So I don't feel any pressure, to be honest. I'm just going to do my thing. Going to try to feel loose and great out there. Other than that, I have the speed. I have the endurance. I don't know what I should worry about. You know, I'm just going to go out there and have fun.
You made an interesting comment yesterday in the press conference when we introduced the teams. You don't just want to win the MX2 class this year. You want to go out and win a race at the very least. You think that's possible? When you said that, I was thinking the last time that happened was probably Cairoli, Villapoto, and Townley at Matterley Basin winning the MX2 against the Open. And maybe before that, it might have been
Butts Creek.
Right? Villapoto won at Butts Creek in 07.
Yeah. But he won both motos in the thing. I was just thinking, you know, there was there, and also I think the first time it happened was maybe Steve Lamson and Tortelli at Jerez, where you would have been in '96.
Yeah, I was riding the 500 that moto, and
big beast.
And that was the real battle, the FIM champion versus the AMA champion that day. And I remember us kind of knowing that, and that, you know, I got out front on the 500, and here comes Lamson and Tortelli, and they are laying it down, and I'm like, the next 500 was a ways back. I'm like, I don't want nothing to do with this. I'm going to watch this battle. It was such a great race to watch.
Yeah.
But I was on the track too, right, trying to do my own thing. But it was a really special moment when you see those guys get to go at it.
And that's the nature of the event, isn't it? You know, I mean, back in '94, I think it was a class win, individual class win. So you could have finished third, been the best MX2, but you would have still picked up 1 point. Yeah. Whereas now it's 1, 2, 3. You have to race for every point. So if we're given that situation again, Jeff, you would have to go out and, you know, chase these guys down, for instance.
Yeah, and it's, you know, I think that the scoring now, when you're in the 250, or I'm sorry, you know, the MX2 class, you've got pretty good starts last year, but the chances of some of these 450s getting up there, like you have to come through the pack. You can't just be the first MX2 rider. You know, every position on the track counts.
Yeah.
It definitely changes the strategy of it.
The goal is to win the MX2, but to get my personal first ever full-on victory, which at this point, it doesn't even matter if I'm in front of a 250, because I think the guys I have to battle are on the 450.
Yeah.
Of course, Eli's there, but I mean, when you're behind them and they're throwing rocks at you, and you try to make up all that time, which you can do when you do one tiny little mistake and they're gone again. And it just takes so much effort to be able to pass them, and you really need to get aggressive and creative, I would say. And it is super hard, but I truly believe it is possible. I mean, I think I've showed last year, you know, I can run up front with the guys. Of course, they were a little further away, and sand is a different story.
These kids, they got it so easy. The 125, 500, now that was a difference.
That was
around Roggenburg.
There was a massive horsepower difference between those two.
Yeah, especially at Roggenburg with those uphill drags and those rocks that were coming at us as well that day.
I've been there. I've been there for a European Championship on the 85.
Jeff was telling me yesterday when we were like chewing the fat and all the rest of it, saying you looked at your nation's helmet from Roggenburg, didn't you? And you
massive holes in it and whatnot. This track though looks like they brought in some of the sand. But there's a few rocks here and there. But overall, the soil looks really good, right?
It actually is. I think they've done a great job. It was a little muddy this morning, but a lot of rocks, that's true. I think also it has always been a lot of rocks, but the reason is that they changed the star, and I think they moved a lot of dirt. So all the rocks came up, and they're laying on top now. So it can really get dangerous.
It looks like the track setup, some of the jumps and whatnot is epic. Epic sections to scrub it, to whip it.
Yeah,
definitely style was looking good. You've got a killer kit. The Germany Fox kit looked on point today.
For sure, and I think one of the best spots is when you're right by the fence over there. You know, there's a nice scrub jump, and they're cheering you on. It really gets you in the zone.
What about, I know you've been racing with Eli for the last couple of years, and the rest of the guys in AMA, Barsha, you know, previously, but being European when you did your First Nations, for instance, a couple of years ago, whatever it was, you know, did you feel nervous about riding with, you know, me against the American guy or me against this guy? But now that you're out there for a couple of years, you're racing with these guys, battling those guys, winning championships against these guys. I know there's maybe pressure attached to the fact that you're here on home soil for the Nations 1, 2, and 3. But is the pressure off in terms of you haven't got to prove yourself against these guys, or is, you know, how does it work for you?
Well, my first ever destinations was 2009 in Italy, and honestly, I don't think I'm that nervous kind of guy, to be honest. I know what I've done then. I didn't, there was nothing I could expect, you know. It was my first time ever, and then I did really good there, and then going to the next year, and I don't know, I just feel like I had that aggression to be running with the big guys. But right now, of course, I would love to do good, and I'm not the kind of guy that is happy with riding around somewhere. You know, I have to be out there. That's my own goal, which if I set my own goals, nothing to do with pressure.
Yeah.
If people expect something from me where I think, ooh, that's going to be hard, then that's a pressure. But I know what I can do, and I'm absolutely not worried, to be honest. Like I said.
How about this guy?
Yeah.
Nervous?
Crazy?
No. No. All the things that we experience, all the bad things that we experience, he hasn't felt any of that.
Well, I just want to have fun, and I have a great time being out there and racing against guys from Europe that I haven't raced against in a long time. So it's just a fun race. You can't even compare that with a championship race. It's so special that...
And everybody says that with coming racing national. It's not, you can't compare it to a GP, to a national, to anything. But before we disappear, I know we're running out of time, a couple of minutes max, something like that. Jeff, it's the first European nations you've been back to, I think, in a while. How is it for you so far, the atmosphere?
Yeah, well, I mean, for me, I feel like the atmosphere is always just incredible. The crazy people come out with all of their support for their country, for certain riders. And it's just a different type of race, and the strategy of the race is so much different where you really, the not making a mistake part of it is really important, because if, you can't just throw caution to the wind and go for it. And if you crash, it's on you. Now you've affected the team, right? So there's this high level of performance that you have to bring, and don't mess up either.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that brings its own pressure anyway, but we're out of time. So, guys, Jeff Emig, Pleasure having you on the sofa this weekend. Ken, welcome back home. Hope it works out for you, and at least get to see you on a box and maybe even go out and win a couple of races as well outright. So that's all we got time for here. That's it for the 67th edition of the FIM Monster Energy Motocross of Nations, our live studio show here at Teushenthal in Germany. We've got the qualifying races coming up live at 2:30 today, the first one, 3:30 and 4:30, so MX1, MX2 and Open. And then, of course, we've got the racing on Sunday as well. So that's when we get down to the business of finding out who's going to win the Chamberlain Trophy for another season. Will it be Germany? Will it be US, Team France, Italy? Who knows? Belgium might even get in there as well. But thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.